Welcome to the Water Street Church midweek message. I'm Elbert van Dockersgood. Consider the narrator of Ecclesiastes. He has quite a skeptical and unsettling view. Life is meaningless. What do people get for all the toil and anxious striving with which they labor under the sun? The narrator asks in chapter 2. Not at all a divine view of life. Not at all the view after the sixth day of creation. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. The narrator has a very human view. There are indeed times when the world and our lives are turmoil and anxious striving, but then, oh happenstance, there comes an inflection point worth celebrating, worth remembering. Genesis 8. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark. And he sent a wind over the earth, and the waters receded. Genesis 9. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on the earth. On November 11, we pause to remember and celebrate the end of two periods of toil and anxious striving, two wars of which the final turning points were thought to be the end of all wars, but were not. The narrator of Ecclesiastes was right to question the meaningfulness of even our best moments and plans. Consider how the signing of the 1918 armistice that we celebrated last week had unfortunate details. And many years later, it became an opportunity for revenge by Hitler. In 1918, the guns of the First World War officially fell silent at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. But the actual ceasefire document was signed just after 4 a.m. that morning. Officials, out of some sense of history-making, postponed publicity for some 6 hours. During those 6 hours, casualties continued to mount, including Canadian Private George Lawrence Price, who was killed by a sniper while advancing into the Belgian town of Ville-sur-Haine at 2 minutes to 11. That last day of the war saw 10,944 casualties, of whom 2,738 died. Artillery units kept firing till the last minute so that they would not have to haul away their leftover ammunition. The armistice document was signed in the mobile office of the Allied commander, a recently retrofitted train dining car moved to a forest north of Paris. As can be expected, the train car and the train tracks in the forest became the site of a museum. The story of the dining car did not end with the museum. In 1940, when the German blitzkrieg overran France early in World War II, another ceasefire was signed between Germans and the French. Hitler ordered the converted dining car taken out of the museum and put back on the tracks in the forest for the signing of the armistice that sealed his control of France for much of the next 4 years. Hitler's revenge. Hitler then had the train car hauled to Germany as a war trophy. The car was destroyed at the end of the war. The narrator of Ecclesiastes was right to question the meaningfulness of even our best moments and plans, but only to question, not forget. The retrofitted dining car of 1918 and its hope for ending wars was not forgotten. In 1950, the manufacturer of the dining car donated a twin of the car to the museum. Remnants of the destroyed original car are on display beside the doppelganger. And on the 100th anniversary of the silencing of the guns at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, German Chancellor Merkel and French President Macron met in the replacement train car to renew commitments to end wars. Did the narrator of Ecclesiastes forget about the rainbow? Not likely. Consider Ezekiel describing one of his visions. Like the appearance of a rainbow in the clouds on a rainy day, so was the radiance around him, referring to God. You and I, we need clouds and rain to see the rainbow. Thank you for listening.